China in panic. British aircraft carrier warns Chinese submarine hunting them in South China Sea. Have you at any point considered what being amidst high stakes between two maritime powers is like? All things considered, that is the exact thing that occurred in the South China Ocean as of late, as pressures between the unified realm and China keep on rising. In this sensational experience, the Regal Naval Force's leader plane-carrying warship, the HMS Sovereign Elizabeth, was being shadowed by a Chinese assault submarine. However, because of their state-of-the-art gear and skill, the Imperial Naval Forces had the option to wipe out the danger. In this video, we'll investigate what occurred, how it affects the district, and what it says regarding the UK's tactical abilities. So, buckle up and let's dive into this gripping tale of submarine hunting in the South China Sea. The South China Ocean is one of the waters on the planet that is quite possibly the most controversial sea, with various state-run administrations going after command and over its broad area. The United Kingdom has found itself in the midst of it recently as tensions in the region have been on the rise, and this spike in tensions has occurred recently. HMS Queen Elizabeth, the flagship aircraft carrier of the Royal Navy, was on its first deployment to the Far East when it became the target of a Chinese attack submarine when it was in the region. The confrontation was heated and dramatic, and it was recorded on video so that the entire world could watch it. The Chinese submarine attempted to shadow the cutting-edge carrier, but the cutting-edge equipment on board Queen Elizabeth was too much for it to handle. The Kilo-class submarine was immediately spotted and eliminated by the Royal Navy, which has a stellar reputation for being one of the most proficient submarine hunting navies in the world. The incident demonstrates Britain's formidable reputation in the realm of anti-submarine warfare, as well as its capability to secure its assets against prospective threats. The communist dictatorship in China has staked a claim to the waters of the South China Sea, a move that has frightened China's neighbors in the region, particularly Japan and the Philippines. The presence of the United Kingdom in the region is being interpreted by some as an affront to the sovereignty and territorial integrity of China. Tensions continue to rise in the region. Despite the warnings, the Carrier Strike Group of the Royal Navy lawfully navigated the South China Sea in 2021. They did so by taking the path that led them through international waters as directly as possible, and while they were there, they participated in exercises with their allies and partners in the Philippine Sea. The confrontation that took place between the Chinese attack submarine and the HMS Queen Elizabeth, the flagship aircraft carrier of the Royal Navy, was an exciting one. The British frigate HMS Richmond, which was protecting the aircraft carrier Queen Elizabeth while it transited the South China Sea, was the vessel that made the initial discovery of the Chinese submarine. As the Chinese submarine made its way close to the cutting-edge carrier in the hopes of avoiding detection, the air was thick with palpable anxiety. Despite this, the Royal Navy was prepared to meet the challenge head-on. The Chinese submarine that was suspected to be hiding beneath the waves to the south of the task force was promptly located with the assistance of a specialized helicopter designed for searching for submarines. Sonobuoys are high-tech sonar devices that are used to track enemy submarines. The crew used a Merlin aircraft to drop a series of sonobuoys, which are extremely sensitive sonar devices. Sonobuoys were able to pick up the distinctive acoustic signature that Kilo-class submarines give off and immediately transmit that information to the Royal Navy. After its cover was discovered, the Chinese submarine had little choice but to withdraw from the task group and take shelter elsewhere. The risk had been eliminated thanks to the efforts of the British team, which had prevailed over the Chinese submarine. This encounter is a tribute to the Royal Navy's strengths in anti-submarine warfare and its ability to safeguard its assets from prospective dangers. The Royal Navy successfully eliminated the threat posed by the enemy submarine. It is essential to keep in mind that the confrontation took place in a simulated setting, and that the Royal Navy had the upper hand in terms of both technology and preparation. The outcome might have been different in the event of a dispute. On the other side, the incident highlighted the preparedness and professionalism of the Royal Navy in dealing with circumstances of this nature. The event was documented by the BBC for its documentary titled The Warship: Tour of Duty, and it is scheduled to air on the program this coming Sunday. The video captures a spectacular moment in which a yacht manufactured in Russia is discovered to have been deceivingly hiding beneath the water. The incident underlines the importance of keeping a strong presence in contested waters and the necessity of having modern technology and training to repel possible threats. Admiral Lord Alan West, who had previously served as the commander of the Royal Navy, described the encounter as incredibly impressive, and he believed it to be evidence of Britain's frightening image as one of the best submarine hunting navies in the world. The encounter sheds light on the Royal Navy's capacity to maintain sanitary conditions and its standing as the world's most effective anti-submarine warfare navy. Sea, both of which are highlighted by the Royal Navy. An aircraft carrier battle group is an extremely formidable and difficult-to-breach military formation. It has the potential to cause devastation and mayhem to foes within a range of 200 miles. The run-in with the Chinese submarine demonstrates how essential it is to have a carrier battle group as a deterrent against potential dangers in the world. Because it is difficult to locate a submarine in the seas of the South China Sea, the success that the Royal Navy has had in this endeavor is even more noteworthy. The incident took place after months of bellicose rhetoric emanating from Beijing on a carrier group's voyage to waters in the South China Sea that are the subject of territorial disputes. The communist dictatorship in China has laid claim to the great majority of the ocean, a move that has frightened China's neighbors in the region, particularly Japan and the Philippines. Additionally, the incident underscores the United Kingdom's commitment to protecting freedom of navigation in the South China Sea. The purpose of the United Kingdom's flotilla's visit to the region was to undertake drills with partners and friends in the Philippine Sea, while also ensuring that all international waters remain open and accessible to all parties. The run-in with the Chinese submarine raises worries not only about China's objectives in the region, but also about the country's growing military presence there. A terrifying warning was made by the Chinese Defense Attaché Major General Su Guanghui before the deployment. He stated that if the US and UK join hands in a challenge or violate the sovereignty and territorial integrity of China, that would be hostile action. The presence of Chinese submarines in the area underscores how important it is to have a strong presence in the region and to maintain close relationships and collaborations with states that have similar values and perspectives. This interaction also highlights the necessity of continuing to invest in cutting-edge technology and training to defend against future dangers in the region. The fact that the threat was located and eliminated by the Royal Navy demonstrates how important it is to have access to the most advanced technology and knowledgeable personnel. The recent encounter between a Chinese attack submarine and a flagship aircraft carrier of the Royal Navy, the HMS Queen Elizabeth, emphasizes the need of maintaining a strong presence in contested areas and having sophisticated technology as well as training to counter prospective threats. The fact that the threat was located and eliminated by the Royal Navy demonstrates how important it is to have access to the most advanced technology and knowledgeable personnel. Some people believe that the presence of the United Kingdom in the region poses a threat to the sovereignty and territorial integrity of China. However, in 2021, the carrier strike group lawfully traversed the South China Sea by following the path that was the most direct through international waters. At the same time, they participated in maneuvers in the Philippine Sea with their allies and partners. This interaction also highlights the necessity of continuing to invest in cutting-edge technology and training to defend against future dangers in the region. The importance of having the most advanced skills and equipment is demonstrated by the fact that the Royal Navy is often regarded as having one of the strongest anti-submarine warfare capabilities of any navy in the world. The confrontation with the Chinese submarine raises worries not only about China's objectives in the region, but also about the country's growing military presence there. A move that has disturbed China's neighbors in the region, especially Japan and the Philippines, is the communist dictatorship in China's claim to broad swaths of the South China Sea as its territory. The presence of Chinese submarines in the area underscores how important it is to have a strong presence in the region and to maintain close relationships and collaborations with states that have similar values and perspectives. As we wrap up our coverage of the dramatic confrontation between the Royal Navy's HMS Queen Elizabeth and a Chinese attack submarine in the South China Sea, it's clear that tensions in the region continue to rise, with China staking a claim to the majority of the ocean and the UK committing to protecting freedom of navigation. The situation remains complex and potentially volatile. It's important to keep a close eye on how events unfold and to stay informed about the latest developments. Will diplomatic solutions be found, or will this escalate into a military confrontation? Only time will tell, but we'll be sure to keep you updated on this ongoing situation. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.